Shocking statement. You can rent in Mountain View, Arkansas for around $480 a month and not pay a dime of state tax on your Social Security. Sounds like cheat code retirement, right? But here's the catch. Spotty internet, limited nightlife, and your Friday plans might be front porch banjo and early bedtime. We're walking through 9 micro-cities where $1,800 a month is workable, healthcare is within reach, and the bills are predictable if you can live with the quiet. Stay, because the second town on this list is even cheaper on paper but asks a very real emotional price. For $180 rent sounds like a life hack. So why are the leases still available? Because you're not competing with 1,000 newcomers, you're competing with silence. The deal's real. The catch is realer. Let that sink in. Here's the green light checklist that makes your wallet grin. $500 rent shows up in places like Mountain View, Arkansas, and Red Cloud, Nebraska. Both states don't tax Social Security benefits, which means your check lands whole. Cost of living sits roughly 20 to 30% under the national average, so your grocery cart and utility bill aren't trying to cosplay as coastal prices. On paper, it's a win. It's like finding premium gas at regular prices. You fill up, you drive off, then the engine knocks. But here's what nobody tells you. Quiet isn't just peaceful, it's literal. Fewer jobs, fewer shops, that spinning internet buffer wheel. It's your new roommate. Mountain View has been described as a place where the internet's spotty, and that becomes a lifestyle choice, not a minor inconvenience. If you stream shows, FaceTime grandkids, or handle bills online, you feel it. The store list is short. The Friday night list is shorter. Let's break it down. You've got $1,800 a month. Rent, $480. Utilities, budget $160 in shoulder months. Then plan for winter spikes, because electric heat or propane doesn't care about your spreadsheet. In some towns with geothermal systems nearby, winter pain softens, but not everywhere. Groceries, $350 if you cook, a little more if you want brand loyalty. Phone and internet, call it $90 to $120. And yes, speeds can be mid-2000s energy. Transportation, $180 to $220 for fuel, plus set aside $50 for maintenance, because long drives add up. Healthcare cushion, $150 to $200 for premiums, copays, and meds beyond Medicare. That leaves a small buffer, maybe $200 to $300 for clothes, a diner breakfast, or the random "why is the water bill like that" month. Why is rent so low? Demand is thin. Growth is slow by design. Big employers are far, and local culture favors stability over development. City councils don't chase nightlife. They chase predictable. Landlords price to what locals can pay, not to what an Austin transplant thinks is fair. Distance keeps wages down and turnover low. The result is affordable leases that sit available because the move requires a taste for quiet and a tolerance for planning. Mountain View runs on front porch culture. You'll find music, sure, but not a strip of late-night options. You trade bar crawls for potlucks. Red Cloud is a single grocery town reality. Your bills behave. Your variety doesn't. If you're a 3 brands of yogurt person, get comfortable with 2 and sometimes 1. The upside, fewer surprise charges. The downside, you learn the delivery truck's schedule like it's a holiday. The research-backed perks stack up. Arkansas and Nebraska don't tax Social Security. Property tax reliefs exist if you qualify. Winter energy help like LIHEAP can keep the heat on without lighting your budget on fire. These aren't coupon codes. They're structural discounts that make the math work month after month. But the hidden costs show up quietly. You'll drive farther for bulk shopping, which means fuel, time, and a cooler in the trunk when it's not January. Small stores sell smaller sizes at higher per unit prices. That $6 savings on paper gets eaten by a 90-minute round trip. Internet that drifts in and out costs you patience. And if you game, Zoom, or do telehealth often, you start budgeting for signal, not just dollars. So here's the thing. The math works. $1,800 covers the basics with a buffer. It works if you accept the slower tempo and plan for utilities, fuel, and boredom the way city folks plan for parking tickets. And if you thought the money part was the whole story, wait until healthcare and weather enter the chat. Everyone's scared of rural healthcare. So why are retirees in places like Truth or Consequences and Dummies still fine? Because the system isn't a single building. It's a web. It's real. It's happening. Here's the promise. You can live cheap and still see a doctor, get prescriptions filled, and handle real emergencies without turning every appointment into a 3-hour odyssey. It's not concierge care. It's calendar care. You line things up, you use the network, and you keep a couple of safety nets in your back pocket for when weather or timing gets weird. But here's the catch. Services exist, just not at urban density. You trade instant access for planned access. Same care, different cadence. You won't roll up to a specialist at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday and stroll in. You book, you batch, you make a day of it, and suddenly healthcare becomes one of your errands instead of your entire week. Let's break down the web. Start with regional hospitals. They're the hubs. Around them, you've got primary care clinics, VA clinics for qualified vets, and community health centers that run on sliding scale fees. Senior centers aren't just bingo. They run wellness checks, flu shots, and blood pressure mornings. Telehealth picks up the slack for routine visits, refills, and follow-ups. And the sleeper feature is transportation. Counties and area agencies on aging run-ride programs that will literally get you to your appointment and back without you begging a neighbor. State policies reinforce this. Where Medicaid expanded, more clinics stay funded and more people can actually use them. Property tax reliefs put real dollars back in your monthly flow, which means your prescription budget isn't a guess. In Arkansas, programs like AR Choices help with in-home support, so you're not white-knuckling recovery after a fall or surgery. Stack that with Medicare's routine benefits, and you start seeing how the fixed income stretches without gambling on an emergency. Take truth or consequences. You've got a regional hospital footprint and access to VA services for veterans. Bonus: geothermal heat isn't just a spa thing. It takes the edge off winter utility bills, which keeps your healthcare cash where it belongs. Now jump to Pocahontas, Iowa. Clinic-to-hospital pipelines mean you see your primary, then get routed to the right hospital or specialist without playing phone tag for weeks. Seniors can get rides booked through local programs, so a snowy morning doesn't cancel your blood work or your cardiology follow-up. Now the contrast. A remote spot like Ely, Nevada punches way above its weight on taxes and safety, but you need a reliable car and a calendar with buffer. Groceries and appointments both demand scheduling. Canyons and winter roads raise the stakes, so you plan around storms instead of testing your luck. The healthcare exists. The access is a choreography. Arrive early, bring the list, grab meds on the same trip. It's a system, not a sprint. Here's the emotional cost. Fewer specialists in town means fewer choices and more waiting. You'll batch appointments, stack refills, and watch the weather like you're in charge of the evening news. The upside is predictability. People know your name. Nurses remember your meds. Neighbors notice if your porch light stays off 3 nights straight and check in. Low drama, high awareness. That has value. So the mini payoff is simple. Healthcare works out here when you pair benefits with logistics. Medicare plus Medicaid expansion where available, or VA access if you qualify. Telehealth for the routine. Monthly meds sync, so everything refills together. Transportation programs on speed dial. That's the playbook. It's boring. It's effective. So the loophole works. If you like quiet and you respect the calendar. Now it's on you. Do you want stability or convenience? Cheap rent is a lifestyle contract. You're trading chaos for predictability, speed for a calendar. Bills behave. Days slow down. Care gets scheduled, not chased. That's the math. Like this, so the algorithm thinks I'm important. Would you trade nightlife for a $600 all-in housing cost? Comment quiet wins, or city or bust. I read them. I reply. And yes, I judge the city or bust folks, but with love. You're not ready for what's next. We're testing the cold weather wildcard next episode. Berlin, New Hampshire versus Alpena, Michigan. Who actually beats winter bills? Heat sources, insulation, wind, and real utility numbers. Let that sink in.